Okay, my fellow Barcelona fan has some interesting opinions here about the UEFA Nations League because I said it's what is a real tournament and this was his response. Because he's my guy, my fellow Barca guy, and a fellow Messi fan, I'll have to address this with a video with respect to him. You see, when we make fun of the UEFA Nations League and we say because it was used to replace a friendly, then it rules it out as being a major tournament or an actual tournament. What that necessarily means is we don't even understand the origins of the European Cup / UEFA Champions League. Now, before 1956, what happened in Europe? Nothing. It was all territorial football. Everyone played club games in their countries and their regions. Before then, before the European Cup, there was something called the Mitropa Cup, organized by the then Austrian-Hungarian Empire before the First World War, and even after the First World War, it continued. But it didn't give any footing because it was within that territory. And even before that, there was World Sports Championship organized by clubs in England and Scotland to play amongst themselves. So you see, it was still within the UK, territorial. And that was how it was in the whole of Europe. Clubs from different countries, like maybe Spain, going to play in England, where during the off-season, something like what we call pre-season now, they organize this sparingly. Once in 3 years, once in 4 years, they just played a friendly amongst themselves, and that is it. There was truly no unified system to actually unify these clubs to play competitive competitions. So a French journalist, along with some Real Madrid executives, on a visit to South America, saw that the South Americans already established a club system, competitive football for the entire continent, where winners of leagues come together to play competitive football, which actually is the modern day Copa de Libertadores. And that was established in 1948. So these guys, they felt a little bit threatened by this, and they felt blindsided. They were like, Europe is supposed to be the powerhouse. We should also create something like this back in Europe to give us the edge over the South Americans. And that is what they did. They went back and they presented a proposal for winning clubs and maybe winning clubs mostly to come together and compete for a unified trophy. They presented this before the European Football Congress at the time, and it was adopted 1955. So that was how the European Cup was created, and the first edition held in 1956. So you see, if we bring that logic into this, it is simple. The European Cup / UEFA Champions League was created to create a system for everyone to play themselves besides friendlies. So in effect, it was replacing friendlies. It was also replacing friendlies, and literally very little friendlies and no competition at all at the time. It was just created for that purpose, to create more competitiveness so that all the teams will come together. So essentially, in black and white, it was replacing those 1 year, 2 year friendlies that they played themselves, because everyone was just territorial. So that logic applies here, and that makes it funny, because now the UEFA Nations League, which is a recognized tournament by FIFA, by everyone, and you are saying it's not a tournament. I don't understand. It's on FIFA website. It's on everywhere you check. FIFA acknowledges this tournament. It is a legitimate tournament organized by one of his biggest body, the UEFA. UEFA is literally the biggest body under the FIFA. So I just don't get it where we are coming up with these things, trying to all in the name of, we should really not get down. We, as Messi fans, we have the ability to be logical. So let's stick to that. Let's not get in the gutters with these guys and do what they do. They can say what they want about the World Cup and the Copa. That's their business. But the truth of the matter is the UEFA Nations League is a competitive tournament. The only way I would now listen to you is if you also tell me that the UEFA Champions League and the European Cup are effectively rubbish, because they were used to replace. It is the same thing that plays out here, so they are not real tournaments. All the great moments we've gotten from all the great players over the years is nothing, because according to you, it's not a real tournament, because the UEFA Nations Leagues also have the same pattern. It was used to replace friendlies. Both of them were used to replace friendlies.